Hey folks, it's Jim. It's getting pretty dark. I just wanted to show you my Ibera rack that I installed, and I rode it yesterday on some pretty rough terrain, and it worked great. And it's working great with those fenders that I purchased on the previous video. If you haven't seen that, I really didn't want the Rad full fenders, and when I went online also to get the rack, Rad was sold out of the rack as well, so I had to go on a search for a rack, and I found this Ibera. That's the name of the company, and this is what it's called, the Ibera Carrier. I don't know if there's any numbers there, but this is the one for disc brakes as well, this rack. There's a different one for non-disc brakes and disc brakes. The base of this is 8 inches wide. I'll show that in a minute. And that makes it for disc brakes, I guess. But for me, I'm really glad that Rad was sold out of it. Now, again, like I say, this is aftermarket product. Safety is your responsibility, okay? I'm not guaranteeing any safety with regards to this rack because this is an aftermarket thing. However, when I installed it, I feel very secure that this rack is going to do just fine for me. And it fit my fenders perfectly. And like I said, I saved... this rack was only $29.99 with free shipping versus Rad's rack that was going to cost me $80 plus $12 shipping, $92. So for 1/3 of the price, I feel like I got a better rack because this has a quick release pannier system and day bag, top bag, that is fantastic. Shoulder strap the whole bit, so you can go right from the bike to the office with your bag, or whatever, or have lunch or whatever. And it's all quick release, pop, pop, no Velcro straps, none of that. And so I'm really jazzed about that again. And as you can see, it fit my fender very well. I'm very pleased with that. I tried to guess as best as I could how well it would be. And again, I can get my arm in here to clean anything out. Plus, there's so much space between the tire and the rack that I feel confident that most debris will just fly right through, right, as I'm going, and hopefully not get tangled up. And that my fender is way up there, although this is slanted down, so it looks like it's close to the tire, but really it's only about 1/4 of an inch thick plastic, and this is the top that's actually on the tire. Okay, so you can see how high above the tire this fender really is. I can reach my arm and hand in there. Okay, awesome. So I'm very pleased with that too. If you saw my other video, you know that's what I was looking for. So I'm really glad Rad was sold out of the racks. I'm very pleased, actually. And I think it looks fantastic together. Let me show you the back here so you can see truly how wide that is. Hopefully you can look in there. Hopefully we're pretty well lined up. But look at how wide that is. That is a full 8 inches back here, okay? From post to post, it comes out of the box 8 inches apart. Now, the Rad mounts are 7 1/4 inches apart, okay? So you're either going to have to push these posts in, or in 3/4 of an inch, or you're going to have to pull them out almost 1 inch, 1/2 inch on each side, right? So for me, I thought the fit was fantastic. Now, safety is your responsibility. You're going to have to make those decisions for yourself. And when you do stretch it, be careful. You know what I mean? If you're going to put this on, be careful. You don't want to stress the metal, okay? We're talking about something that's designed to carry weight here, so you don't want to stress it out. Just stretch it enough or push it in enough to get it mounted. Don't be wrenching on it if you're going to do that. And I would also recommend taking the screws from the package that comes with this and threading them into the mounting post holes on the frame of the Rad bike to help get some of the paint that got into these holes in the painting process. I went and did a screw in each hole, put it in and pulled it out before I tried to mount this. That way the holes were clean of the paint that the painting process gets in the holes. And it was easy to put on. I had this on in about maybe 5-6 minutes. And I was very pleased. I was absolutely jazzed at how well it went on. I'm really happy with it. So I want to thank all those people who do reviews on Amazon and those Rad Power Bike owners that did their reviews on this rack for their 2016, 17, and 18 RADRovers. Thank you very much, because I probably wouldn't have found this rack if it wasn't for them. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this video. And again, I wouldn't ride people on this or anything like that. You know, I'm not going to exceed 50 pounds on this rack, okay? So, and RADRover's rack is only rated for 45 pounds. So I'm not going to rate this. I'm not going to put any more weight than 50 pounds on this rack, no matter what it's rated for, okay? And I wouldn't recommend more than 50 pounds on any rack, any bicycle rack to begin with. But it also gave me that height. And again, you can lower this if you want, about 1.5 inches down if your seat's lower. My seat's up pretty high, but you can lower the rack down 1.5 inches. I wanted something as high as it could possibly go. That's the other thing I really like about this over the Rad Power Bikes rack, is that versatility also. And again, safety is your responsibility. I'm not telling you this is safe or that you should do it. I'm just simply showing you what I've done, right? So safety is your responsibility. You make these decisions on your own, all right? But I am very, very happy with this. And between the fenders and the rack, okay, the rack saved me about $62, right? So versus Rad's rack. The fenders, which I needed the sport fenders for my application, because I'm not right. I didn't buy this to ride on road. I bought it to ride off road, snow, and ice, right? And so the fenders from Rad's fenders were going to be $89 plus $12 shipping, $101. So I spent $65 versus $193. So, you know, I've saved about $130 by going this way, on top of what I feel a better setup for me. Now, again, I'm not guaranteeing safety or anything like that. What I am saying is this is what I've done, and I saved myself enough money to buy the rack, the bag system, the full quick release bag system for the Ibera setup. Isn't that awesome? So I'm very pleased with my purchases, both. And again, I just rode it a pretty good distance on some seriously rough roads at a fairly decent clip. And in fact, both of us were double braking at a few points, and it was kind of hairy. That was that rough, and we were getting up to speed. So I was bouncing it quite a bit, and I had my double pannier set up on it with some weight in it as well. And I feel very confident now with it. I'm not guaranteeing it. Again, safety is your responsibility, yada yada. Because some of you may also overstress those poles, crack the aluminum, and now you're in trouble. That's the other thing I like about this rack. It only weighs 1 3/4 pounds. That's all I'm adding to the bike. That was the other reason why I love this rack and went for it, because of the lightweightness. But also, because of that, folks, be careful when you pull those rods out to get it on, or push them in. Don't overstress it, okay? Just do what is necessary. And again, I won't guarantee any safety, and that's part of the reason why you have to finesse a little bit to get this in. Now, some people didn't add the spacers and just pushed it in, right? That made it pretty easy for them to install. And that may be an alternative for many of you. I wanted as much space in here as I could get, and now I have 9 inches between the rack poles almost, right? So awesome, and I really like it. I like the setup. I'm very happy with the overall purchase of both the fenders and the rack, and I am a very happy camper at this point. So maybe some of you have been looking for ideas or struggling with things being out of stock at Rad Power Bikes and things like that. Or maybe some of you were looking for alternatives like myself, especially with the fenders. So, you know, this is what I found that works for me. And again, safety is your responsibility. I'm not saying do this. I'm not saying this is safe. I'm simply showing what I did. Okay? So I hope you're all doing well. And here's some alternatives. And for me, I saved quite a bit of money. Jim out.